Did you know that social enterprises are now worth £60 billion to the UK economy alone? That's 3 times more than their entire agriculture sector. Today, we're diving into the world of social business, where profit meets purpose, and entrepreneurs are proving that you can do well by doing good. You'll learn how this movement is reshaping the economy, why traditional businesses are taking notice, and what makes social enterprises uniquely positioned to solve some of our biggest challenges.
And it's not just the UK, we're seeing this explosion of social entrepreneurship globally. According to recent data, there are now approximately 10 million social enterprises worldwide, generating about $2 trillion in annual revenue.
Wait, $2 trillion? That's massive!
Yeah, and what's even more interesting is that these enterprises are employing nearly 200 million people globally. We're talking about a major economic force here.
So help us understand, what exactly makes a business a social enterprise? How is it different from traditional companies?
Well, the key difference is in the primary goal. Traditional businesses focus mainly on maximizing profits for shareholders, while social enterprises are designed to address social or environmental challenges while still generating revenue.
Can you give us an example?
Sure, take Tom's Shoes, for instance. They pioneered the one-for-one model. For every pair of shoes sold, they donate a pair to a child in need. It's a perfect example of combining business success with social impact.
That's fascinating. And I imagine measuring success must be quite different too?
Exactly. While traditional businesses mainly look at financial metrics, social enterprises measure both their financial performance and their social impact. It's about creating what we call a double bottom line.
And how are they performing on those metrics?
Remarkably well, actually. Here's something that might surprise you. In the UK, the top 5 cooperatives, which are a form of social enterprise, pay more tax than Amazon, Facebook, Apple, eBay, and Starbucks combined.
Wait, what? That's incredible.
And it gets better. In France, the social and solidarity economy sector accounts for over 10% of national employment. That's about 2.34 million employees.
So we're seeing real economic impact here, not just social benefits.
Absolutely. And what's particularly interesting is that 50% of social enterprises are led by women, compared to just 20% in traditional businesses.
That's a significant difference. What do you think accounts for that?
Well, social enterprises tend to be more focused on inclusive leadership and diverse perspectives. They're often built around solving community problems, which naturally attracts more diverse leadership.
Let's talk about funding. How do social enterprises get the capital they need?
That's where we're seeing some interesting innovations. Social enterprises attract impact investors who are willing to accept lower financial returns in exchange for significant social impact.
So it's not just about maximizing financial returns?
No, and that's what makes it unique. These investors are looking for what we call blended value, a combination of financial returns and positive social impact.
And how is technology playing a role in all this?
Social enterprises are increasingly adopting AI and blockchain to enhance efficiency and transparency. Studies suggest AI could improve their operation efficiency by 30% over the next 5 years.
That's substantial. Are traditional businesses taking notice of this model?
Definitely. We're seeing more traditional companies integrating social impact into their business models through corporate social responsibility programs and impact initiatives.
But isn't there a risk that this is just window dressing?
That's a valid concern. The key difference is that for social enterprises, the social mission is built into their core business model, not just an add-on program.
How do they maintain that balance between profit and purpose?
It's about designing business models that create value for all stakeholders, not just shareholders, but also communities, employees, and the environment.
And are consumers responding to this approach?
Absolutely. We're seeing a growing trend of conscious consumerism, where people actively seek out businesses that align with their values.
That must create some interesting market opportunities.
It does. Social enterprises are often at the forefront of identifying and addressing unmet needs in society, which can lead to innovative business opportunities.
Can you give us an example of that?
Sure. Many social enterprises are working in areas like renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, and affordable healthcare, sectors that traditional businesses might overlook but have huge potential for both impact and profit.
And what about the challenges? What are the main obstacles these enterprises face?
Access to capital remains a big challenge. Traditional investors often struggle to understand the dual-purpose model, and impact investors might not have enough capital to meet the growing demand.
How are they overcoming these challenges?
Many are getting creative with funding sources. combining traditional investment with grants, crowdfunding, and innovative financing models.
And what about measuring impact? That seems like it would be complicated.
It is, but we're seeing better tools and frameworks being developed. Social enterprises are getting better at quantifying their impact through specific metrics and outcomes.
What kind of metrics are we talking about?
Things like number of jobs created, carbon emissions reduced, lives improved through services provided, concrete measures that show real impact.
And how does this translate to attracting talent?
Social enterprises often have an advantage here. Many people, especially younger generations, want to work for organizations that align with their values and make a positive impact.
That makes sense. What trends are you seeing in the sector?
One major trend is the rise of digital social enterprises, especially in Southeast Asia. The region's social commerce market alone is expected to reach $42 billion by 2025.
That's a huge market opportunity.
Yes, and it's being driven by a young, digitally savvy population that's increasingly conscious about social and environmental issues.
What about government support? Are policies keeping up with the sector's growth?
It varies by country, but we're seeing more governments create supportive frameworks for social enterprises. Some are offering tax incentives, others are creating special legal structures.
And looking ahead, what do you see as the biggest opportunities?
Climate change solutions, healthcare innovation, and digital inclusion are all areas where social enterprises can make a huge impact while building sustainable businesses.
Any final thoughts on what makes social enterprises particularly relevant today?
I think it's their ability to address complex challenges in ways that are both sustainable and scalable. They're proving that business can be a force for good.
And do you think this model is here to stay?
Absolutely. With the challenges we face globally, from climate change to inequality, social enterprises are becoming more relevant, not less.
So when you step back from everything we've discussed today, what's the key takeaway?
I think it's that social enterprises are showing us a new way of doing business, one that proves you don't have to choose between making money and making a difference.
And they're backing that up with real numbers. $2 trillion in revenue, 200 million people employed globally.
Exactly. This isn't just a nice idea, it's a proven business model that's scaling globally.
Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode of Copilot Podcasts. Remember, the next time someone tells you that business is just about profits, you can tell them about the 10 million social enterprises worldwide proving otherwise.